Welcome back, guys. Episode 14 of the podcast. You've got Sam, and I got a special guest over by me. Chris was not able to make it on this one. He told me that the show must go on, so we are going ahead and doing it. We got to give you the facts. It's been a little while, about 2.5 weeks, so it is time to rock and roll after 4th of July. So to start, Chris normally does the market stats, but I got the stats today. I got all the information for you guys today. And by the way, I'm going to keep the suspense going, but I got a pretty awesome guest to the left of me. I'm going to go through the data, and then we'll get over to her in a little bit. So real estate market data. Let's start with the year over year. For sale, a 47% drop in for sale. We went from 4,130 to 2,158. Sold, we're actually down another 26% on the sold side, and pended is going to be just down by 4.4%. Pretty similar numbers from the previous podcast on that one. Going into Q4, we're going to see those numbers get a little bit more closer, less change year over year. Pended has gone up by 0.4%, nothing very noteworthy to go with. Sold, we're down 8%, but here's the big kicker. Month over month between May and June, drum roll please, our supply has gone up by 17.7%. We're seeing a supply jump. And there is a few different reasons as to why that is. Well, frankly, a lot of the news has been indicating a little bit different. It's very interesting because what I was reading, and I also heard it on KFBK, was repossessions are starting to become a lot more apparent when it comes to cars, RVs, motorcycles, stuff like that. So what does that mean? People can't pay their bills. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So what's going on is I think the labor market is starting to soften. Regardless, the data is saying otherwise. I don't know about you, but lately the government has not been my best friend in terms of thinking that they're being super transparent with us. I think you could probably understand why I feel that way. But anyways, we're in a position to where we already know people their savings have been getting less and less because we have inflation. With inflation means obviously cost of goods sold is a lot more expensive. So when that happens, our savings drain. And then guess what happens when that happens? We have to sell our liquidatable assets like our cars, our trucks, our RVs, our motorcycles, etc. Guess what happens after that? Real estate. So we will see how this unfolds, but we're seeing a supply jump. It's even more weird because there's a few different paths that the rest Q3 and Q4 can take, because we got some CPI data, consumer price index data over a 12-month average. We're at just an average of 3%. So inflation, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, is improving. And the interest rates actually improved as well with that, because when the CPI says that inflation's gone down, banks will tend to bring their rates a little bit lower. Here's the interesting part. If we have rates that ended up going lower, then the demand could potentially match the supply. But if employment tends to keep going down, we end up seeing that there's a lot more jobless claims. People start losing their jobs more, regardless of how much the rates go down. People cannot buy a home if they do not have a job. You can look at this from a perspective of, okay, rates improve right now, get in when you can, or you can try and wait and see what happens. At the end of the day, we all know that time in the market's going to be a better opportunity. However, what's seeing right now is very fascinating, because when we have inflation that's going down, according to the Labor Bureau and Statistics, which I'm kind of fuzzy on that too. I don't really know how much it's being decreased. At any rate, when it comes to the actual interest rates going down, everything that's been told to us by the Fed is that the Fed said that there's going to be more rate hikes to be able to curb inflation. So if that continues to happen, that's going to mean that values are going to have to adjust. Because if our supply continues to rise, especially if employment numbers, in other words, the jobless claims tend to go up a lot higher, that means that people are going to start selling their homes more. And if rates continue to go up, guess what's going to happen? An adjustment in prices. So if we're waiting for a value and slide, that's a possibility. So keep following along, because we're keeping this data accurate. I got this data as of yesterday. So keep that in mind. Inflation is going down, quote unquote, but we're also seeing supply go up on the real estate side. And remember, we're doing El Dorado, Placer, and Sacramento County. Those are big counties. That's pretty much all of Northern California, other than Yuba Sutter, which the lovely agent that I have next to me works in that one, which very similar market. I mean, we're all in the same ballpark, so we'll just have to see what's going to happen. I think I've put too much suspense. I think we're at the point of suspense where I can finally introduce my lovely, I'm going to call her my co-star today because it's just you and I today. Welcome, Jenise.
Thank you. Can I be officially a friend of the show?
Yeah, you are officially a friend of the show.
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to make it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want you to tell everyone your story. Tell me, who is Jenise Keller, the extravagant, extraordinaire real estate agent of Yuba Sutter County?
That is so sweet, first off. Where do I start? What do you want to know? Do you want to know all of it, everything?
Did you grow up in Yuba? Did you grow up in this area? Or did you come from a different spot? Have you always been into real estate?
Okay, so originally I'm from the Bay Area, Vallejo to be exact. So Bay Area.
Bay Area.
So I'm from the Bay Area, did a lot of like hopping around. So like I was born in Fairfield, lived most of my Bay Area life in Vallejo, but I also lived in Napa. And then my family did the 90s kind of exodus from the Bay. Like we did the earlier Bay Area exodus.
Smart.
Yeah. So been in the Sacramento area since about 2000.
Okay. So you got in way before the big boom of Bay Area people coming in, because that really started like post 2008. Like Roseville, it's like a mini San Francisco.
Literally.
It's so much traffic. It's ridiculous. But anyways, continue.
So from there, I kind of bounced around everywhere in Sacramento, which like hindsight, which it's been great for me as a realtor.
Sure.
So I lived literally North Highlands, Carmichael, Elk Grove,
that's a good
Citrus
market.
Heights.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everywhere. And now I live in Yuba City with my husband. We bought a house up there.
Great guy.
He's
Love
an
Cody.
amazing guy.
We love Cody.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy.
We love Cody. I guess I could keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you can go as far back as you like, but I didn't know that until I didn't realize you came from the Bay Area. You may have told me a long time ago, but so you've been in Yuba for like what?
Far too long.
20 years at least?
Ew, no.
No?
I'm sorry. No, not ill.
That's your market, girlfriend.
Yeah. Not ill, but like, so I have been in Yuba. I've been in Yuba for 8 years now. I've been in Yuba for as long as Cody and I have been together, which has been 8 years. So
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you and Cody have been together you guys have been together for a while. That was a cute story. I remember when you told me on our first open house, you read the story. It's super cute.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, wasn't it when, like, didn't he come up, you were kind of like in that like mood of like, I don't need no man type of thing.
All day, yeah.
All day.
Not now though, babe. Love you.
Explain to me that I want to know the vibe. Like, because he approached you, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. You see the material. Of course he approached me.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah, well, that's what real men should do, right?
That part. Yes.
It's becoming a thing, though. Like, I feel like a lot of guys are just getting so nervous, mainly because of social media. People are afraid to be posted about because I've seen some stuff that women have posted, just like this weirdo came up and asked. It's like, he's taking a shot.
Literally. Like it's normal. It's
what's
fine.
so bad about someone coming up and shooting their shot? If a woman came up to me, I would first off say, thank you so much for coming up to me. That took a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Because that hardly happens like ever. I've been maybe approached by a woman. Depends on the type of like environment. I've had some aggressive situations in college, but in like a normal setting, if I was at lunch, dinner, I would say maybe it's happened like a few times.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, maybe women are intimidated by you.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm a pretty nice guy. Do you want to look intimidating?
No. Not intimidating because you like give off intimidation, like in and of yourself. But I feel like you're a good looking guy. Like you clearly got your life together. Like I don't know many guys your age that dress this way. Not
decently.
Yeah, there it is. Like you just carry yourself in a way that's like not physically intimidating, but like you clearly have your stuff together. So like if I'm a step to you, I need to step to you correct.
I've never thought about that. That's something to think about. Yeah. Maybe I should approach more women then.
Yeah.
You just got me a lot more confidence. Thank you for that.
I try.
Well, so you are obviously a real estate agent. You've been doing it for about like what, 2.5 years?
Yeah, two years as an agent, but I've been in the industry for 6 years.
Right. Yeah. I remember I started and like I met you like probably a year afterwards, and we clicked in Young Professionals Network.
Yeah.
Then we became besties.
Shout out to YPN.
Shout out to YPN. Aloha Nights, August 3rd. But yeah, so tell me a little bit more. So real estate, obviously we know it's very difficult to start.
Yeah.
And then once you start hitting momentum, it starts hitting momentum. You hit some momentum lately.
Yeah.
So I want to know, because this market's very interesting. I feel like everyone's waiting for something. What are you hearing from buyers and sellers? Because you've been on the listing side a lot lately. So you've been getting a cool perspective of what sellers' concerns are and also what the buyer's agents are communicating to you. So tell us a little about what you're hearing.
So on the seller side, I think it's very interesting because we're coming out of the crazy pandemic market, right? Where like people are just throwing their houses on because why not? Like let's make the money.
Yeah.
So my sellers, at least that I've been having, they are more of a lifestyle sellers. They're no longer the let's throw it on and see what we can get. It's we're either downsizing, we're moving somewhere.
More about a necessity.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's no longer for funsies.
Right. Yeah.
And it's nice though, because in my experience, they've been realistic. None of them have been like, oh, let's put it on for 30 grand over what we think we can get. They've been very realistic.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've heard some horror stories on the opposite side because, like you were saying, that COVID pandemic, like people can literally throw it up and people would make offers.
Yep.
So I've been hearing a lot of pushback from other listing agents, but I think a lot of listing agents, I mean, me and Chris have talked about it a couple of times. I feel like sometimes they put it on themselves if they don't stand their ground and show that they are professional, because you are truly, that's what you do for a living every single day. You're a real estate advisor.
Right.
You are like, I hire a plumber to do my plumbing.
Yeah.
I hire a real estate agent because you do it every single day. You understand the market. So I feel like a lot of professionals in the industry do not establish themselves on that professional level. They can kind of be pushed around. You're very good at that.
Oh, no way. Do you think so?
Hell yeah.
That's so sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I remember I knew it the first time we had our open house because we were doing flyers together, remember?
Yeah.
And there was one time, because we're like, you're a perfectionist. We all know that.
Yes.
But that is a good characteristic to have with real estate.
Yeah.
I remember just the flyer. I sent it back. She's like, Sam, can I be honest? And I'm like, oh no. She completely redid it. Way better than mine. But but you weren't afraid to tell me what you were feeling, and you're good at what you do. It was funny because we were both marketing majors. At first, my pride was just like, kind of like, fuck. I'm not a creative designer by any means, but you're better at that than I am. That's why I have Amanda. She's better at it now. So, but that's honestly, it's a skill. It's a skill to be confident in yourself, because a lot of people have imposter syndrome. They feel like they don't have the confidence to present the facts and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sure you've gone through that too.
Oh, I still have imposter syndrome.
I feel like everyone does.
1,000%.
Yeah. I feel like being under, like, because we're both younger in the industry. Right. So I feel like that's always something that's in the back of our minds. But you just got to remember, we do this every day. It's like we study it like a test every day because it's our job. Right. So just regurgitate what you know and what you're seeing, but set realistic expectations. Like, I'm not going to tell you that interest rates are going to be at 5.25 by December 21st.
Right.
That's what was bothering me about that May 10th bullshit. You remember that? I think I talked to you about it. I'm like, why are these freaking lenders saying that we're going to see a 1% rate drop on May 10th?
It's July 13th.
Yeah.
And
we're higher.
Yeah.
Dummies. Yeah. Anyways, Unfiltered. This is my podcast, so I can call you dummies. I feel like a lot of people that do watch this podcast are either on the
affordability.
Yep. Affordability. Yes.
Yeah, affordability, and I think also the lack of inventory is really a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hopefully that number keeps going up a little bit, or maintaining it to a point where I hope we don't have a skyrocket in supply, because real estate markets don't react very well with shocks like that. So we'll just have to see. But I'm curious, do you have any thoughts as to what's going to be going on in Q3 and Q4?
I do.
What's your thoughts?
So I had a thought prior to you giving us all the tea a little bit ago.
Yeah, I did have a lot of tea today.
Yeah, piping hot, BTW. So I kind of thought that we would have, because real estate's cyclical. So after summer, we kind of cool down and things get a little bit slower, and everybody kind of well, not everybody, but people back out because it's the holiday season. Nobody wants to go see houses in the rain or snow if you're in the snowy areas. Yeah. So I thought it would just kind of, go back to that, but
kind of more of the seasonal route, just like, because we saw a seasonal market this time. It's like things truly picked up around that March, April, May time, and actually kind of picked up a little bit earlier. Like, it started in February, which was interesting. I'm trying to think. I mean, my year in terms of purchases have not been bad. I'm trying to think of when I got more of an uptick. It's been pretty
Steady.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, December was
Yeah.
December was just like, well, it seems to always be that way. Christmas just, it's like the month's off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like if you get a couple of closings in December, like good for you because it doesn't
Literally.
happen very often.
Yeah, even honestly, even like I know a lot of people will take like they'll talk to their agents and they'll hire them at the end of the year, but they won't go on the market until the spring.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people hit the market in January to get the jump on the spring market, you know.
Do that. Yeah.
But what I think for Q3 and Q4, I think based on what you told us, if the repossessions keep going up the way that they are, I feel like we'll have a better than normal season.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
because
as in like more sellers will come put their homes on the market. And
because the one thing, the most consistent thing everyone's heard, everyone I've talked to, you, other agents, other loan officers, even private money lenders, has been people are waiting on the sidelines because simply they're waiting for things to get more comfortable for them. Because I mean, at the end of the day, at least especially on my side, it comes down to, I've said it a ton of times on this podcast, what's my monthly payment and what's my cost?
yeah,
So the cost won't go down, but the rates don't necessarily have to go down to have a lower payment.
yeah,
If prices were to go a little bit down, then they would, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I'm never a person to say like wait for the perfect time.
There is no perfect time.
There is no perfect time. I mean, I've been looking this summer, I've been looking, trying to find the right deal. Yeah, for me, it's just like, it's tough to stomach a $4,100 a month payment just for myself, just because of how, like, right now I could do it, but it's like the uncertainty. You gotta understand, I'm 100% commission. I don't get any sort of, I don't even get like a $500 base. I am 100% commission.
No
So
way.
yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, most loan officers are actually usually on base salary. And that's the reason why sometimes experience can vary. Because if you're 100% commission, you're a little bit more incentivized to get things done quickly.
Yep.
That's the same reason why real estate agents like you are grinding. You are going to make sure that you will answer that phone call immediately. Right. But that's why I tell people, do not work with your bank because they're not incentivized to work with that agent and hit timelines.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get paid the same no matter what.
Yeah, regardless. Yep.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. And that's also, keep that in mind with real estate agents because, yeah, they make commissions, but they don't get paid until they close a deal. Remember that. They don't get paid in the middle. It's not like,
we don't get paid to open doors.
Right. It's not like, hey, Jenise, like, I'm going to be your agent, but I'm going to need $2,500 up front for gas just in case we have to go over the countryside.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. Yeah. Everyone focuses on, 2.5%. First and foremost, most of the time they're not getting the full 2.5%.
Every time.
Yeah. When you hit a certain threshold, sometimes,
there is.
like I think, like usually when you're in like the industry for like 15 years and you're fully self-sufficient, and you're your own broker. Yeah. Right. There's only a select few times where you're 100, but yeah, you're incentivized differently when you have that kind of structure entirely. But going back to moving down in the future, it's the weirdest part is CPI. If it keeps claiming that we're going down in inflation, that would then trigger the Fed to reevaluate whether or not they need to adjust interest rates down. Right. It just doesn't make sense in my economic brain because something needs to give unless they're not being very honest about some of the statistics. I think unemployment has not been accurately displayed to the public. Yeah. I think it's higher than it is. I've heard a lot of tech companies been laying off.
Yeah, crazy lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Lenders. I mean, the thing is real estate lending, when it comes to the economy, usually we get hit first before everyone. Yeah. Because the first thing to stop when things get more expensive is the big stuff. Right. Right. Because the rates are being dictated a lot by the rate of inflation. That's the biggest thing everyone's saying is Fed Powell, well, we're going to have to raise interest rates because
people have jobs.
Yeah. It's like insane. That doesn't make any sense. So obviously, if we think that unemployment is going to continue to rise, less people have jobs, they can't even qualify for a home loan. So they either have to dip in their savings long enough to make it to be able to pay off their mortgage, right? Or pay their mortgage until they get a new job, or they have to sell. We won't know for sure until Mr. Almighty Powell gets up and says he is going to, for the meantime, stop the rate hikes. Because the last Fed meeting, he said we're going to pause for just that month to reevaluate the CPI report. And then, there are going to be more hikes. So if there are going to be more hikes, that means rates are going to go up. So what does that mean? Because if people are waiting for values to go down, what if rates continue to go up as values go down?
Right.
So it's like
you're still kind of in the
inverse
same
route. So it's a long way of saying we don't know exactly. Exactly.
We'll never know is the thing.
Right. We can only indicate.
Nostradamus, apparently.
Yeah, right. But yeah, my take, my professional opinion, I never like to forecast, and you guys know that. But my professional opinion is I do think that there is a possibility of supply going up. And if supply were to go up and the rates were to stay the same, values will be able to go down.
Yeah.
But that's dependent on whether rates stay high. Because if the rates go low enough to where it can absorb that demand, same deal. It's just going to be off the races.
Right.
Right. So at the end of the day, if you're looking, evaluate your finances now. See if it's something that you can do now, because when rates improve, you will not have to deal with that herd of people flooding my office saying, I want to buy right now.
Yeah.
All you have to do with, Sam, here's your documentation. I want to refinance. And you just sit back, relax, and be done with it. You don't have to deal with the stresses of real estate. You don't have to make multiple offers, stuff like that. It'll just be curious to see if there's going to be a big rush.
I think so.
It would just be weird to see a rush like that again so soon. Because 2020 and 2021 was just around the corner.
Yeah.
So.
But I think if things go the way that you're not projecting, because you don't do that.
Right.
But
I can make speculations.
Yeah. I think if rates go down, I think there will be a rush, because I can't tell you how many of buyers of mine that I was working with that are like, I'm gonna sit this out because affordability is ridiculous. Which
it's so true. I mean,
it is.
I mean, to put in perspective, if you want to buy a $500,000 house, which is kind of like a starter home in Placer County,
literally. Yeah.
I mean, you can get a little more in Yuba, but still, if you want to get a good house, you're still looking at $450.
100%.
I know we're doing those new builds. They're like what, $425, $450. Yep. Yeah, so you need to be making $10,000 a month with low debt.
And who, honestly?
And you're at $3,800 a month on a payment if you're doing the minimum down. So I get it. I totally get it. So here's the people that I would recommend if you're considering buying and you're waiting. This is what I would do. If you are a salary employee making good money, I say evaluate it if you're making at least $8,000 a month on salary. You'd be a good potential. If you have good credit, of course. You have a good potential of qualifying, and you have a good savings.
Yeah.
Those are the three that I would do, because that point right now you can be able to get in, you can get your property before everyone else tries to rush, if that were to happen. I know everyone's considering what if the values go down. Here's the thing, people. It's time in the market. Say your home goes down by $20,000. We have fixed mortgages. So your mortgage is not going to go down. But guess what? When that demand comes back, boink, it's a bounce back.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was listening to another podcast, and it's the concept of people deal with loss worse than they are to gain. So say you put $1,000 in an investment and you lost that $1,000, it would hurt you more than if you got up to $3,000 in profit.
Yeah.
But it's just because for some reason we're very emotionally reactive, and that we just deal with loss.
Well, you know what?
And we're very short term.
Yeah, and humans, our brains are wired to focus more on the negative. So I think that's part of the reason.
100%. Because because that goes back to our basic human desires. It's
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. Because negative usually stems from our brains want to go to worst case for survival.
Yeah.
Right. So worst case, I want to make sure I don't even do it. So it's with real estate, for me, that's why I'm still looking. I'm just trying to find the right deal. I'm taking my time. I'm trying to find a multi-unit, a 1 to 4.
Good for you.
Yeah. Because
that's smart.
Yeah. It's just the toughest part is that when you find a good one, it just gets snatched up really fast.
Yep.
So, because I'm working with an FHA loan and I'm having to compete against conventional cash, stuff like that. Right. So, and another thing too, you can be like me. You don't have to just get in and get out. Take your time, find the right property. The one thing I'm having to adjust to is it's fun being a buyer because now I can fully understand perspective.
Yeah.
Because now I understand that you're not going to get everything you want. You're
Sorry,
not.
HGTV.
Yes.
Sorry, house hunters.
It's not
You're
how
not
it works.
getting everything.
I've talked about it once in a podcast, but the closest thing you can do to get to what you want is doing like an FHA 203K.
Yeah.
Where you buy the home and then you finance the amount that you need in order to get it to the desired condition. And then you do 3.5% down off that total.
Yeah, but there's so much to that. Like, I feel like people kind of, and this isn't a dig at you at all, but before I became an agent, like I heard of the 403
FHA 203K.
There it is. I heard of that loan and I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. Like maybe when I'm ready to buy, that's the route I'll go. Not knowing that there are so many layers to that. It's not just I identify a property and I think I could like renovate this.
It's not
like
too
you
bad.
have to have, but I thought you had to have like a contractor come and do the bid and submit that to your LO.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yes, the biggest misconception with agents, they think that they don't get paid until the work's done. That's not the case. So if you're talking to any of your agents, a lot of people don't do it because that's the most common misconception, and that's not the case at all. But with FHA 203K, yes, you do what I would do in terms of orders of operation is I would look at the house and be like, tell your agent, well, I love it. First call, talk to your loan officer, and then he'll break it down. If it's me, I'll break it down and say, first and foremost, talk to a general contractor and then get your specs down. Because then he'll be able to outline everything. And here's the cool thing. It'll be also updated because you'll have an appraiser that will do two type appraisal. It'll be a current as is and then after repair value. And if it's an FHA appraiser, they're going to be putting in subject to items, what it needs to happen in order to get it to FHA standards. So that then gets translated over to the general contractor.
oh, that's nice.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're not having to guess.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
and then that they have to be approved with them, and they're going to be outlined with the stuff with the requirements anyways, because they're going to be approved general contractors,
Got it.
which doesn't take a lot of issues, but you can do them in 30 days.
Okay.
I would say a lot for on the safe side, depending on who you're working with. I would say 30 to 45 days. You get paid when the deal closes, not when the work's done.
Yeah. Well, that's not my concern. Just as a consumer.
A lot of
like-
agents have said that they don't want to do it because they think they don't get paid until all the work's done.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, honestly,
I know you're not
I
like
knew
that.
it was a thing, but that's above my pay grade right now. Like,
Right. Honestly, like it's, yeah, I mean, of course, if I were to choose what loan I'd much rather do is a conventional 30% down 800 FICO.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Easy.
But it's something for me. I like doing those types of things just because I don't do them all the time, but it keeps me on my toes to be
Yeah.
a professional because as a mortgage loan originator, I want to be able to say I can do it all.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I just do some. I don't, because I hear I'm a veteran, I'm a VA expert.
Yeah.
Great. So you're a VA expert first and foremost. I don't know what that means because there's no like class or certification. There might be. I don't know.
Unless you're a realtor.
Is there?
Yeah, I am a military relocation professional.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of a running joke in the lending world because you're a VA expert if you've done a VA loan.
Listen, I have run into those people that are like, I'm a VA expert, and then
And you're like, are
full
you?
disclosure, my husband's active duty military, so VA is like my niche.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll run into those lenders or LOs that will say that, and then I will just start talking shop with them, and they're like, "Oh, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, so you're the expert,
So
huh?"
you don't know what a DD-214 is.
Exactly.
A certificate of eligibility. What is that?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's funny how people in our industry, they like to make themselves feel, there's a lot of pride in our industry.
Real estate, honestly, is like reality TV without the cameras.
So true.
Like
so
1000%. It's like 24/7 Instagram.
I know, like our YPN freaking conferences are just sometimes I swear I could put a camera in the corner and we could be able to make some money from it or something.
Literally have the best reality TV ever.
Have you ever met an agent or a loan officer? Like, you know me, I wear suits though.
Yeah.
But like sometimes like they look like they're about to go on selling, like they just watched Selling Sunset and they come into the meeting. I'm like, okay. You know, it's funny. I've only worn a suit with a tie one time to a PCAR meeting.
Yeah.
And it was when I was doing breakfast. I was sponsoring
Okay,
breakfast.
fancy.
Yeah. I got a new silk tie and I had to wear it. It was magenta. I was looking good. I was feeling fresh. You know what my guilty pleasure show has been, reality wise?
Hopefully not Big Brother.
It's on Netflix. It's not Big Brother.
Reality TV. Is it it's not The Circle. Is it the one where Love is Blind?
I like that one, but
It's
not. It's. I feel so embarrassed. I don't know if
I'm
I want to.
excited. What is it? Tell me.
I don't know
It's fine.
what
It's
it
a
is,
safe space.
but I think their problems are hilarious. Too hot to handle.
I haven't seen that one yet, but is it kind of like Temptation Island?
Just because they're all idiots. They're all hot idiots.
Oh, okay. I'm
It's
watching
hilarious.
Okay.
It's so funny because like none of them understand cues. None of it's just like they're all ripped and they're all like they're super very like all models practically,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they're just so dumb. But like you think of like like the dumb
I
one.
love me. Kate. Karen.
Yes, exactly
Yeah.
that.
She
But
has
that's
a
every
sixth
single one of
sense.
them.
She could tell when it's
Oh,
raining.
that's.
Yes.
I remember that. I haven't seen Mean Girls in quite some time.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of shocked that you know what it is.
I do.
I'm good for you.
I grew up with 3 god sisters.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're all married now, and they're to
Yeah.
wonderful men. I actually helped the oldest one buy a house in Folsom.
Okay.
They're
Another
like-
family situation.
I would say like they're like perfect people. Like you know, like when you look at people like that's a way too perfect family.
Yeah.
Like the J Bush, you know, I love you to death. They're my god sisters. I mean, they're my family.
Right,
I say I
yeah.
love you every single time I see them. But they're like, if I were to say like they are the most perfect you can get, they're perfect. Because one's
I wanna
like
meet them.
you should. One's a PA, a physician assistant.
Wow.
Married to an attorney. He's great. William, I love you, buddy.
Is he so smart and analytical?
If you, I hope you watch this actually. He's kind of like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
Super kind, but you can tell that if he's in a courtroom, he can break it down.
Yeah.
Tana, she's a charge nurse. Well, she transferred, but she's still a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then her husband is in tech sales. Great living, both of them.
Yeah.
Other one, Allie, she's my age, nurse. Her husband, Jacob, is a software engineer.
So smart, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
And they all own houses.
Of course, they better with those jobs.
I know, right?
Listen.
I know. I'm like considering dating pool just for the dual income.
Listen,
Like-
it's a thing. It is a thing.
It's a financial decision at this point, okay?
Listen, build it in. Talk to your financial advisor. Find the right person. I forget the term for it now, but there's a term where people like date so they won't become homeless. It's a thing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I know that sugar daddies have been a thing since like what?
The very beginning of time.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
like kings. Like there was this saying, it was a king can turn a peasant into a queen, but a queen cannot turn a peasant into a king.
Well, why is that? Patriarchy?
Have you ever heard of a queen grabbing some homeless guy off the street? Like I'm thinking like medieval
Yes,
times.
Aladdin.
Aladdin?
Yeah, Princess Jasmine, and she married Aladdin. He was a street rat.
Was he?
I didn't call him that. That's what they called him in the movie.
Yeah, geez.
It's the movie.
Was that?
Yeah.
Is that true?
So do we need to watch Aladdin? Is this what I'm hearing?
We're watching Aladdin.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to know. I didn't know that.
Have you not seen Aladdin?
I mean, maybe when I was 5.
Ooh, shade.
It's got to be 20 years.
Fired.
Sorry.
They literally just came out with the live action a couple years ago.
We'll have a movie night.
Okay.
We'll have a good time.
Okay.
We'll watch
Because you
Aladdin.
know, Cody and I are like huge Disney nerds.
Are you?
So maybe that's why, actually. I'm a Disney nerd for sure.
You are a Disney
Yeah.
nerd.
I just went to the May the 4th be with you in May. So.
Oh yeah, you're a Disney nerd.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disney movie? Last question.
Oh, it depends. I have so many.
Okay.
I'm such a
I'll
Disney
set it
kid.
based on a mood and an
Ooh,
environment.
okay, let's get it.
I got you. Okay, so say it's a rainy night, and you're with Cody.
Yep.
And you're just in good vibes. It's more of like, let's watch a movie and cozy up and watch some popcorn and get something nice and warm to eat. What are you watching?
Okay. Full
And you
disclosure?
both are just in like you're both in kind of like lovey moves, like
Oh, like super cuddle fesh, like Sesh, the dog's with us.
oh
We're
yeah,
all in our
like,
matching PJs.
Yeah, you ain't moving or you're gonna be
Fireplace
upset.
is going.
Right.
We would be watching Harry Potter.
Okay.
I'm a Harry Potter kid.
You have a
all
favorite
day.
one?
All of them.
Sorcerer's Stone. I'm trying to think of what the one I remember the most. I always like the title Prince of Azkaban. Is that what it's called?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Press. Yeah. I'm not a Harry Potter nerd.
Look,
I've watched them
you-
all.
You are stressing me out.
I'm sorry.
Because who's the older one here of us two? Me. And
Actually, no. Let's
who's
say
not
this.
presenting
I
as
was
the
gonna
older
say
one?
you could guess who's younger. I would say her from first glance. I'm getting rough these days.
Are you?
I think so.
Friend,
I need a haircut. Do you see this?
you?
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's
who's
that's
looking at your
that's
neck,
why I'm
though?
pointed this way. It was all thought out.
Clearly. No, but to get back to if it's a Disney rainy night, I'm probably going to be watching my favorite Disney princess is Merida.
Okay.
Do you know you have no clue. Have you heard of the movie Brave?
I've never seen it.
She's the big red. She has the red hair. She's the Scottish
I've
princess.
heard of it, but I haven't seen the new
You are
Disney movies.
stressing
I
me
haven't seen
out.
Frozen.
I'm not even gonna hold you for Frozen, the first one, because I'm not.
I've seen the
but
OG
Frozen
Disney
2?
movies, like Lion King's Disney, right?
Oh my, yeah.
I love Lion King. Well, are you judging me right now?
Yes, because what do you mean Lion King is Disney, right? Question mark. Like what?
I get Pixar and Disney tied up.
They're the same.
They're the same?
Well, they're not the same.
Monsters Inc. is not Disney.
Pixar is a different faction of Disney, but it's literally Pixar Disney.
Okay.
Pixar was actually started by Steve Jobs.
Really?
And then they merged. They didn't merge. They're like BFFs, like we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Monsters
PB&J.
Inc. is 100% Disney. They have their own section in Disneyland.
Okay. So Cars would be.
Yep.
I would say Cars
Toy
is probably my
Story?
favorite.
No
Oh, actually, I
way.
love Toy Story.
Which one?
Toy Story has a lot of sexual innuendos.
All of them do.
No, but Toy Story, way more.
Especially with Mr. and Mrs.
Oh
Potato
my
Head.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a freaking just a blooper of it, all those where they cut it up in 45 seconds, just
Yeah.
throwing it at you. I'm like, I was speechless by the end of it.
Yeah.
SpongeBob
You're
got
this
me
is what
too.
I was watching as a child. Yeah.
But now you understand why your parents were actually laughing with you when you were kids.
Yes.
It's they were kind of geniuses.
Literally. Yeah. Okay, but if I have to pick a Disney movie for a
Okay.
rainy night, it'll probably be, I would say Soul. I love Soul, but you have no clue what that is.
don't know what that
because
is.
You aren't watching new Disney.
Why is that? What is it?
Okay, listen. Soul is, it stars Jamie Foxx, and it's one of the newer ones. I went straight to.
I like Jamie Foxx. He's cool.
Well then, do you like music?
Yeah.
Do you like jazz?
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Until I watched Soul, but
I don't listen to it.
yeah, I'm
I don't
never
be
getting in the car and turn on that jazz.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's not really my first thing that pops in my brain when I jump in my truck.
Same. But it's about an older guy. He's a teacher because he wanted to be a musician and it just didn't pan out.
Oh, okay.
And his mom was like, "Listen, you need stability. You're old. Go get a job."
How old was he?
I think he seems to be in his 40s or something. Oh my God.
He's in his 40s and he just
Yeah.
decided to get his shit together?
He was doing teaching on the side. He's a music teacher. I'm not gonna give you all the whole plot.
Yeah.
Especially not you. 'Cause
Well,
you need to watch it.
I need to go watch it now. I have you gotta give me a list at the end of this because
Literally.
now when I have you on the next time, I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm just gonna I'm gonna be
nail
spitting
you.
Disney facts at you, and you're not gonna even know.
Are
what
you
hit
sure? Because I'm 31 years in this Disney life.
25.
But anyways, so he finally gets his big break, and then the unexpected happens.
Did he die?
I don't know if I should tell you that. I guess I told you that.
He died.
Yeah, but there's more to it.
Oh, okay. I feel like we'd go on
Sorry,
and
guys.
on.
We'll bring it back.
On and on. But yeah, anyways, I don't even know how long we've been going, but I've been having a great time with you on this
Sorry,
one.
I hope you guys have been too.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I kind of want to touch on the idea of people buying a house now, because I very much play devil's advocate all the time, right? Sure. So we'll tell people oh, get in now, because if rates come down and affordability becomes a little bit better, then everybody else that has the same thought as you, that the people that are oh, I'm gonna wait until rates come down and I'm more comfortable with the payment, they're all coming off the sideline with you.
Right.
So we kind of tell people get in now if you can afford to get in now.
Right.
And then like you said earlier, once the rates come down, refi.
Right.
But the devil's advocate in me is but if I get in now and I get a house that is a it'll do house, what if I have buyer's remorse because I got in for a it'll do house as opposed to waiting until rates came down and competing with other people?
Yeah, I think like we were saying, I'm taking my time.
Yeah.
I think it really should come down to finding what makes sense logistically. And here's the cool thing about this market. You can think it over. You don't have to go
sorta.
boom. unless it's like for instance, there was a house, I'm trying to think, I'll bring it back to the duplex that I was helping with. It was something that it went on the market, but it was brand new renovated.
Yeah.
Both units rented for about 22 to 2,500 each, and it was being listed for around 550. That's an investor's dream. That's an FHA dream.
Yep.
So knowing that, it made sense. Like, no one's going to remorse that. So it was like, wham, bam. They did a super aggressive offer as quick as possible, and they got it, locked it in, and they will not have buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
But I think buyer's remorse happens more so especially when you're a first time home buyer, if you have a lot of work to do and it's not even the area you want. Like, I think the biggest thing is location for you. I mean, location to a degree. Like, you need to set expectations. You can't be in Penrith with a $400,000 budget. It's not going to happen unless you're getting a manufactured home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So my recommendation, most of the homes you'll have some time to think it over with your agent. And you can take a look at it and see. And usually most agents will tell you, like if you're talking to the listing, they'll tell you when the deadline is if it's a hot property.
Yeah.
So if you need to go in, like say you saw it on Thursday and there's an open house, you'll probably go see it again on Saturday for the open house.
Yeah.
Make sure. So at the end of the day, there's supplies going up, but I mean, as the rates are staying firm right now, like I don't know if you heard, but last week was a nightmare for rates.
Yeah.
Like we clicked up to October rates. We were at I saw some scenarios hit 8. Yeah.
Sheesh. We didn't even hit 8 when rates kind of skyrocketed out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it was more of a lower credit score borrower.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And but yeah, right now if I were to do cream of the crop rates, I'll be high 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a buyer in contract right now, and he's a VA buyer, and I was like, "Oh, VA, you should be like mid 6s, you know?" Huh.
Was he at?
699.
Okay.
But we got into contract right when the rates kind of were, doing cute things, trickling up. So
is he working with a broker?
Yes.
The cool thing about using a mortgage broker is if you have someone who knows how to do it correctly, is if the rates were to improve significantly,
switch brokers.
Switch lenders.
Yeah, lenders, sorry.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. If it made like a 0.375% swing, I would know 100% switch it over to my second. Because even if my second choice lender was off the original rate by an eighth with 0.125, I'm still yielding him a way lower payment depending on the sales price, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
But in this market, anything counts.
100%. Yeah.
Because affordability is so crazy, anything counts.
Right. Yeah. With VA, it's tough. It depends on also how long your contract is. You don't want to switch it if you have a very quick contract. Like if you have a 17-day contract, just keep it there.
You're locked in.
Yeah. I would say, because that will just stress the agent out. That will stress both the agents out.
Yeah.
But I would say if you're in a 21 to 30-day contract and if rates were to really improve within 7 days after you got in that loan, you could get it done effectively. Conservatively is 14 days.
Ooh, and that's
to close
conservatively.
A loan. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Amanda allows me, in the past it was 17, but Amanda, I've done a purchase in 10 days.
No way. Good for you.
Yeah.
Was it, well, never mind.
What?
I was gonna say, was it finance? Duh, because you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't finance.
It was all cash. It was my cash. No, it was financing. It was boom, boom. It really comes down to the appraisal takes the most time. It was clean file. Yeah. It all comes down to the initial submission of the loan too. We always try and do what's called an ultimate submission. We try and submit everything you need for a loan and only spit out maybe 1 or 2 conditions. So then I called Jenise, be like, "Hey, Jenise, guess what? We only have 1 or 2 conditions, and guess what? Your buyer's actually getting the stuff right now. So I'm going to submit this tonight, and we'll probably get clear to close by the morning, and you're chilling for the next 2 weeks."
Yeah.
Would you like that phone call?
1,000%.
Yeah. If I were to have $10 million in the bank just allocated for real estate, I don't think I'd want an 8,000 plus square foot home. I feel like you lose the comfiness of it.
Literally.
I would rather make that up in my acreage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like not making land anymore.
I feel like this is even big, 6,000, but I think that's the highest I'd ever go, depending on the size of my family down the road. But I got to find the right honey first. And so
the right honey needs to find you.
That's true. Yeah.
Because you're the prize.
I love that. But didn't we just talk about I need to approach more women?
Yeah.
We're now officially in a conundrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In certain situations you approach, but
A selective.
yeah, you're the prize. So
Thank you,
Babe.
Jenise.
yeah.
I think there's no better way to end that podcast on that.
I agree, actually.
You're a prize too, Jenise.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing.
We are a prized package.
Yes, we are, damn it.
What's the word though?
A team. Platonically.
Yeah.
Strictly as professionals and friends. She is your gal when it comes to real estate. She is amazing. Her biggest market's going to be Yuba and Sutter, but she can also do Placer County. Can you do Sacramento County?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I have a listing in in Sac County.
I didn't.
And actually, honestly, most of my business has been Sac County.
Good for you. That's a big range. So Sacramento County, Placer County, and Yuba Sutter County.
Honestly, I could even do El Dorado because before I became an agent, I worked for agents that were based out of EDH. So listen, I could do.
She's a
lot.
grinder. She's grinder, detail oriented, and a professional. And there's a lot of agents in this business that cannot be on the professional side. I feel like that's with any industry. You can know goobers in any way that don't carry themselves, but she is a real one. So if you're in that position where you're looking for an awesome rock star, she's your gal.
And if you want a really good team,
that's right.
Prize package.
That's right. But anyways, guys, well, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 14. I had a great time with you, Jenise. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It actually was really fun. I thought I was going to be like a sweaty mess.
No, it's just having a conversation, going back and forth. We didn't talk about real estate the whole time. We talked about Disney almost half the time.
You're welcome, guys.
But yeah. Hey, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, shoot me a DM. Let me know because we're always looking for new guests. But again, thank you so much for coming.
You.
But we're gonna resolve it here. Episode 14 is in the books. We'll see you guys for episode 15. Have a good one, guys.